Do you know what the number one thing you can do to help a student's hand position at the piano is? In this video, I'm going to tell you the major secret that I have that fixes probably 90% of my students' hand position problems. I am Kay Lowry, and welcome to my channel where I talk about teaching piano. So what's the big deal about hand position? Well, when students are learning piano, especially if they're young, their fingers and their hands and their arms are not used to this instrument. And they think of it like a computer where we just use our fingers. Wrong. In piano, we have to be able to use our arms. So the very first thing a piano teacher will teach in the first lesson is how to get set up at the piano. So I want to show you a couple of things to look for in your setup. First, are you too close to the piano? Are you treating it like a desk? If your shoulders and your arms are like this, no go. You need to be far back. So what I tell my students is to sit on the edge of their bench, about at least on the front half of their bench, and then stretch your arms out. Now, if you see, if I'm too close, I have to lean back, and that's not good. So I'd rather scoot myself back and see if I can touch the fall board. Now, if you have a digital instrument where it's just got plastic up here, then you're going to try to approximate where a fall board would be, and you're going to try to keep yourself this distance. Now, the second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check your feet. And this is the big thing where my students are just constantly messing up. And it's because they're little and they're used to wiggling around. And when you play the piano, you should not wiggle around. You should be very steady. So let me switch my camera view for you. And I'm going to show you my feet. All right. So here are some yoga blocks that I have put right here in front of the pedals. You can get some footstools from a hardware store. I'm going to put a link in the description below for a piano footstool that adjusts, and it will just take care of your student forever, through all their growing pains. But what you want is you don't want their legs to be dangly. You want them to have a firm foundation, and you want their legs to basically be at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so if they are sitting and their legs are at a 90-degree angle, that is a good position to get them in for the piano. So you can see where my arms, even from this angle camera view, you can see that they're above, not below. All right, let's take a look at the next camera view so I can show you how your arms should be positioned. Okay, now we're back, and if we have our feet on something, and if you're a really tall person, you may not need to be on something, but if you're a young student, you probably need your feet on something. So our feet are set, and now we float our hand up and we put it on the piano. And basically, our elbow is going to be at a 90-degree angle. Now, what we don't want our students to do is we don't want their hands to be down like this and have them play like this. It's inefficient, it's uncomfortable, and it creates problems, bad habits for the future. In fact, you can actually hurt yourself over time if you don't have a relaxed hand position and your arms in the right place. So we use an arm. Sorry, I'm splatting, but it doesn't really matter. and then we can control it, and we can make soft sounds, we can make loud sounds. And that's why it's so important to get set up at the piano. Now, beyond that, I'm going to get to the very important point of what you can do to correct a student's hand position. It's important to get set up, but how are you going to stay there? Core strength. So I will get my students set up. They're all good to go. And then they just slump and they're all over the place. And I promise you, it's because they have a weak core. So in addition to piano lessons, you've got to think about that. It's part of our health to have a very healthy core. So have your kid do exercises and things that will develop their core. Swimming is a perfect exercise to help a young pianist. Make sure that their back is straight and that they have the back muscles that will hold them up and that they have the core muscles that will support them. And that, friends, is how you get students to have a healthy hand position at the piano.